The globe spun so fast, the continents blurred into a single streak of color. Leo, Mia, and Sam stood crowded around the table, their eyes locked on the glowing sphere. Maps covered every inch of the walls, pinned and layered until the room felt like the center of the world. Leo reached out, his hand hovering over the spinning surface, waiting for the right moment. He pressed his palm down hard. The globe groaned, stuttered, and slowed, the friction humming against the wood. It wobbled, tilting on its axis as the continents dragged to a halt. The landmasses shifted, clicking into place. A small, glowing marker settled firmly on the islands of Japan. The kids leaned in closer, the light from the globe reflecting in their eyes. The room fell silent for a heartbeat, the anticipation sharp and immediate. Mia traced the border of the island with her finger. Sam grinned, already reaching for a notebook. The map-filled room seemed to shrink as the focus narrowed entirely to that single, distant point on the globe. They stood ready, the world waiting for them. The transition was instantaneous. The quiet room vanished, replaced by the rhythmic hum of a Tokyo street. People moved in a steady, flowing current past a cherry blossom tree, the petals drifting down like soft rain. Leo, Mia, and Sam stood on the sidewalk, watching the crowd, their eyes scanning the vibrant storefronts. They ducked into a small eatery, the air smelling of vinegar and fresh fish. They sat at a low wooden table, a platter of maki placed before them. Mia picked up a pair of chopsticks, her fingers adjusting to the unfamiliar weight. Sam tried to grab a piece, but the sushi rolled away, sliding across the smooth wood. He laughed, tried again, and missed. The piece tumbled over, nearly falling off the table. Leo leaned in, demonstrating the grip, his knuckles white with focus. He pinched a roll, held it steady, and successfully lifted it. They looked at each other, synchronized their efforts, and took a bite. They looked at the camera and gave a simultaneous thumbs up. The map of Mexico flickered onto the screen, a bright yellow taco icon pulsing over the center. The environment shifted instantly from the quiet eatery to the warmth of a bustling kitchen. Steam rose from a heavy iron pot. Leo, Mia, and Sam stood around a wide wooden counter, their hands busy with the assembly. Bowls of beans, greens, and salsa sat in a row. Mia reached for a soft tortilla, laying it flat. She scooped a generous portion of beans, followed by a spoonful of salsa. Sam tried to fold his, but the tortilla buckled under the weight, a drip of sauce landing on the counter. He wiped it away with a quick laugh and tried again, using his thumbs to tuck the sides inward while keeping the filling contained. Leo watched their progress, carefully rolling his own, pressing the edges until they held their shape. They took a simultaneous bite. Leo shook his head in delight, his eyes widening as he finished the first mouthful. The kitchen vanished, replaced by the explosive pulse of a Brazilian street parade. The air vibrated with the thunder of drums and the sharp, metallic ring of bells. Leo, Mia, and Sam stood at the edge of the crowd, watching as a wave of movement surged toward them. The music was relentless, a high-speed tempo that demanded immediate action. They stepped into the flow, their feet searching for the beat. Mia tried to mimic the rapid footwork of the dancers nearby, but her rhythm faltered. She stumbled, nearly colliding with a performer. She laughed, caught her balance, and watched the pattern again. Sam jumped, his arms swinging wide, but he landed a fraction of a second off beat. He adjusted, narrowing his focus, and began to mirror the fluid, spinning motions of the group. Leo found the groove first, his body reacting. Soon, all three were moving in unison, their energy rising with every passing second. They spun, their arms reaching toward the sky. The tempo accelerated, pushing them to move faster. They had become part of the current, lost in the sheer velocity of the dance. The music softened as a map of France appeared, a golden croissant icon glowing on the screen. Leo, Mia, and Sam sat at a small cafe table. They broke a flaky pastry in half, the golden crust shattering into delicate crumbs. They leaned in, observing the intricate, airy layers inside, and shared a quiet smile. The scene shifted one last time, returning to the bright room where their journey began. They stood before a large wall map, carefully pinning photographs. Each image captured a moment of discovery. They stepped back, looking at the interconnected web of their experiences, and exchanged high fives. The globe on the screen spun, slowing until it settled. They stood together, watching the world they had just traversed. The screen faded into a wash of bright, warm colors.